Well, happy June 20th, everyone. My name is Amy Albert, and I am absolutely humbled to be a part of your meeting tonight. Your sales directors have asked me to come to you live and share a little bit about my story, and also they asked me a series of questions. So if you are a part of the Jan Onstadt unit, just know I'm so grateful for your sales director, and I'm going to share here in just a little bit more about that. If you are a part of Chris Lutz's unit, Chris, I don't know you, but everything that I've gotten to hear about you from Jan, I already love you as my sister in Christ and my Mary Kay sister sales director. And if you are part of the All Stars unit, get ready, you guys. This is going to be awesome. Now, for you guys that know me, I absolutely have got to take notes so I can keep myself in line. So you're going to see me go ahead and kind of look at my notebook as I do this video. So first of all, you guys, I wanted to share with you that many of you know I had the opportunity to travel to Nashville this weekend, and I got to stay with Jan Onstadt. Before I go into the teaching element of our time together, I want to share with you a little bit about our Mary Kay sisterhood, because I don't think people understand the degree of the Mary Kay sisterhood. You guys, Jan Onstadt and I met years ago at a Chicago's directors meetings. I can't tell you if we were on a committee together, or I can't remember exactly when that spot hit, but I do remember when she re-entered my life. And Jan re-entered my life in Atlanta of 2020. She invited me to stay at her home. And last year, after my dad had passed away, I knew it probably wasn't a really good idea for me to stay by myself in a lot of places. And so I accepted that offer because I traveled to Nashville once a year to go to a worship leader conference. I've actually served not only as a Mary Kay sales director for the last 20 years, but I've also served on my worship team and led at my church for almost 20 years. And what an honor it is to go to Nashville every single year to that worship conference. Now, last year it was in July, and this year it was in June. You guys, I would never travel to that worship conference in the month of June because our unit is always racing to the finish to wrap up some kind of amazing goal. Just like we're doing right now, All Stars. We are racing to the finish, the $500,000 circle. And so I just wouldn't go anywhere in June. Well, in many of you guys know, in February, I lost my spouse, my husband. He was ill for about a month before, and we lost him in February 2022. And in March we're in 22. Sorry, I told you. That's why I have to keep on my notes. But in March of 2022, I had gotten an email from Worship Together that they were doing the conference in June. And you guys, that conference just happened to be over the time frame of my 27th wedding anniversary. So I contacted Jan and I said, I'm feeling very prompted to come. Would it be okay if I stayed with you again? And she said, my door is always open. You guys, what are the chances of that? What are the chances is that conference would be over my 27th anniversary when I just lost my spouse and I knew I had a place to go because of the sisterhood of Mary Kay. Now, a lot of you may not know too, because I live in northwestern Illinois, that it's about a 10-hour drive. And so I decided to break that drive up because I wasn't sure where I would be emotionally, physically. And so I stayed with another sales director friend. And so I've shared with my two girls that housed me in the last few days is Jan had the resting place and Jenny had the healing pool. And I've spoken with Jeannie Martin many a times over this last 6 months of this journey that we've had with my spouse being sick and then no longer being with us. And I said, I will never, ever, ever not be a part of this company because of the amazing sisterhood that we have in this company. Let's see, I want to make sure I go back in here. So I want to share with you guys the next thing is that my daughter, who is actually 26, she is also a Mary Kay sales director. And she said to me the other day, she says, you know what, Mom? The only people that are still checking in on us are our Mary Kay sales director friends and our pastor. If you hear anything today, you guys, anything at all, your Mary Kay sisters are unlike any others. Your sales directors have been called to a position of servant leadership. Jan, I cannot ever thank you enough for your healing pool. And Chris, as I said earlier, I don't know you, but I think the neatest thing about our Mary Kay conversations is when you get into a circle of sales directors, that circle conversation will look something like this. It will look like ideas. It will look like prayers. It will look like catching up with your family, challenging you to move out of the difficult situation or rest. or encourage you to walk boldly in your giftings. I think about that because I'm in different teams, you guys, and I hear so many different conversations, and the conversations that I'm hearing right now in 90% of conversations is complaining or how bad everything is, versus when you gather a group of Mary Kay people together, the conversation is so different. I don't know about you, but that is the circle of people that I want to be a part of and I want to be involved in, because you become like the people that you're going to be hanging out with. So consultants and anybody that's watching this video tonight, I want to hands off to you and just say, number one, thank you for watching this. Number two, surround yourself with winners, because when you surround yourself with winners, you will become a winner as well. It's, you guys, it's one of those things that it's just how it goes. It's just like, okay, if I'm hanging out with a winner, I'm going to become a winner. If I'm hanging out with somebody negative, I'm going to become negative. We want to make sure that we're surrounding ourselves with the people that we want to become like, okay? Your Mary Kay sisterhood is absolutely one of my favorite parts of this company. And this is not anything that your sales director asked me to talk about at all, you guys. Like, she did not ask me to talk about this whatsoever, but your Mary Kay sisterhood is like no other that you will find here, and you just won't find it. And I want to share another thing too about your sales directors, because there's something, you guys, as a sales director to another sales director, you don't see the different things that happens behind the scenes, that she is praying for you, she is working on your behalf, she is checking in reports, she is working her business, she is leading herself because she wants to make sure that her leadership qualities are honoring for other people to watch. Why? Because we're accountable as leaders. So know from the bottom of our hearts, as your sales director, we are servant leaders to you. We love you. We will do anything that we absolutely possibly can to help your business succeed and also succeed in life. So we just want you to know that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead, you guys, and get into our questions. I had 6 questions that Jan asked me, and I added one because my favorite number is 7 right now. I love the number 7. In fact, our unit needed to do 37,000, you guys, to finish up $500,000. So we are racing to the finish. So question number 1, if you have no bookings on your date book, number 1, what do you do? What do you do, you guys, when you have no bookings on your date books? Well, I will share with you guys, I have been there. As a sales director, I have been there to where I've not had date books on my booking, or there's been no bookings on my date books. I want to go through a couple things of number 1, why? Why is there no bookings on your date book? There could be many different reasons, you guys, why there's no bookings on your date books. Number 1 reason I find is that you're not available. Something's happening in life, and you haven't been able to prioritize your Mary Kay business in order to sit down and do booking contacts. That's usually the number 1 thing I know personally for me. If I don't have bookings on my date book, I love to be in the field. I love to go out and encourage women. I love to help women with their skin. It is a passion. I absolutely love it. So if it's a passion and it's something that I love, why is it that I'm not making time for it? Okay, so that's usually the number 1 question that I ask. And unit, if you're watching right now, that is the number 1 question for you. If you don't have bookings on your date book, why is that? Is there a block? Is there something going on in your life that you're not available? Another thing too, have you lost belief? That's the second thing I always ask. I'm like, have you lost belief? You guys, it's easy to lose belief. Why do you think the disciples, asked Jesus, they're like, I believe, but help my unbelief. It's easy to go into a spot of unbelief. So how are you raising back that belief? You're raising that belief by watching this video. That's number 1. How you're watching this, that you're watching this video and that you found it important to plug into yourself and raise your belief. That's something I ask my unit all the time. How are you raising your belief today? Okay, so that's number 2. Number 3, we're gonna talk about that in a second, is how do I get new leads? So that's gonna be my question number 2. So I'll go into that in just a second. And the next thing I would ask, if there were no date book, or if you had no bookings on your date book, is have you put a structured time down? Do you have a fresh contact list that you can start making those booking contacts? And then the 4th question I would ask you is when? When are you doing that? When are we going to reach back to each other so you can let me know that you went ahead and did those booking contacts, okay? Number 2 question I had is, how do you get new leads? All right, so you guys, for me personally, this is how I get new leads. You guys can see I have my name tag on here with me. even though it's a little crooked because I'm not used to wearing it all the time. One of the things, you guys, I have found, and I've learned this from Jan Onstad. So Jan, I learned this specifically from you. Anytime I see you, you are dressed, you are ready, and you always have your name tag on. No matter what you have on, you have your name tag on, because that you are letting people know that you are a part of this company, and it is a warm chat magnet. When you walk into Starbucks, ladies, and you have your name tag on and people's like, oh, I didn't know you were with Mary Kay. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. And today I'm doing a price patrol, or I'm doing freebie Friday, or I'm handing out free samples, and I'd love to get some feedback. You guys, there's so many things that we can do, but sometimes we're afraid. So again, it goes back to belief level. Do you believe that you are adding a benefit to people's life? Because until you do, you won't do any of these things. So I really want to encourage you guys, raise up that belief barrier. I asked Jeannie Martin, she's actually my adopted national sales director. I asked her, I said, Jeannie, I want to know, every time I see you, I never see you at anything than a level 10 confidence. What are you doing? And she looked at me, you guys, and she said, I choose to have a level 10 confidence every single day. Mic drop. We can all just go home, stop the video at 11:20. It's like that, she chooses. And how is she choosing? She's equipping herself by what she's reading, the people that she's surrounding herself with, the things that she's allotting to circle in her head. I'm going to share with you guys a quick story, and then I'm going to move on to the next question. Yesterday was my dad's 1-year anniversary that he left this earth. I went to church and the tapes just started playing, like where we were and what we were. I'm like, stop. No, you are not allowed to start in my head right now, because I want to go to church and I want to be with my church family, and I wanted to lead worship, and I wanted to just sit in the presence of the Lord, and I wanted to just bask in his glory and worship him yesterday. Like, that's what I wanted to. I didn't want to go into that downward spiral, because that downward spiral, as you start to go into that downward spiral, because we all have stuff, you guys, we can all jump into that like tornado, and it can take us downwards. Okay. But it's stopping that. That is biblical word, that we take all thoughts captivated and make them obedient to Christ. So some of those dominating thoughts that are starting to put you down into that spiral, grab a hold of that, get rid of it, and think a new thought. And that new thought is going to be the person that God created you to be. You have so much value. You have so much value. You have so much to offer this world. Have you guys been out there lately? It is a crazy place. Like, it is a crazy place out there. And I tell Jan, I'm like, she is the most fun person I've ever met in my life. Like, when you show up, that girl is a party. And you guys know what? People need that in their lives right now. They need the joy. They need the excitement. They need the fun. And they are attracted to that. So as you raise up your belief value, you're going to be a person magnet. And that's another question coming up in a second. So number 3, how do I prepare to meet people when I'm out and about? So number 1, you guys, is get dressed. Look beautiful. You guys are all beautiful. You're beauty consultants. And so get up, get dressed, put on your makeup, put on your favorite shirt. I put on a new favorite shirt for y'all today. Put on a favorite shirt, put on something that makes you feel radiant and makes you feel beautiful. And if you are at a level 4 confidence that day, or a level 6 confidence that day, what can you do to raise up that confidence so you are prepared to go out and meet people mentally? Second ways, you guys, how am I going to go out and meet people and be like physically ready to go? So before I left for Nashville, one of the things that I always have this in my purse is I just have a facial mirror thing, and I don't have it right here, you guys. The little meshy bag zip thing, that thing. And I just put some super easy samples in there, like Instant Puffy Eye, where I'm like, hey, we have a new product out. Would you give me some feedback? I'd love to hear a little bit of feedback. And these are people that I've made a little connection with. I'm not usually just walking up to random people and saying that. I would, but it's usually like the person that is giving me my change or my card back or whatever it is. Say, oh my gosh, thank you so much for helping me today. My name is Amy Albert. I'm with Mary Kay. We have a brand new product out, and I would love to give some feedback. Could I give you a sample and follow up with you to see if what your thought was about the new product? Another thing, you guys, is I met a girl at the worship conference, and we just connected. Her and I got to talking. She told me she had an 11-year-old daughter, and I said, oh, I got some some charcoal mask samples. Could I give you guys some charcoal mask samples so you could have a little bit of spa time, later on this week or, later on this weekend? She's like, oh my gosh, I would love them. You guys, she messaged me immediately. She's like, oh my God, that charcoal mask was amazing. And so you guys, just being equipped with samples you are excited about. If you're not excited about them, you're not giving them out. So if you are excited about what's in your bag, you cannot wait to share them with others, okay? So make sure whatever you have in your bag is something that you are excited about. And I have pen and paper where I can get people's name and number, but lately I've just been putting them in my phone, like, oh girl, let me just get your either friend you on Facebook, or I can quick get your text number so I can follow up with you. That's what I've been personally doing, but everybody has their own different way of doing that. So that's a way that I equip. Another thing to you guys is, I know this sounds weird, I drive a pink car, I wash my car. I make sure my car is clean. So then when somebody sees me, or else I'm in a drive-thru or whatever, they'll comment about either my car or what my car looks like. So whatever environment you're in, your purse, your car, your fun bag, whatever you're taking with you when chatting, make sure it looks nice. Make sure it's clean, okay? And make sure that it looks organized and you're not just like flipping stuff out all over the place. Make sure that you're organized and ready to go, okay? All right, number 4, what do I do when adversity hits? Oh my gosh, you guys, in the last year, let's talk about adversity. I shared with you guys a little bit about adversity and what I have endured over the last year. And in the last year, I've lost my dad and I've lost my spouse. I've become a single parent. I've tried to figure out finances. Like, you guys, it has been adversity after adversity after adversity. And I will share with you that there is nothing like the love of Jesus Christ and pressing into the word of the Lord and pressing into him that has gotten me through this. That's just what I do in adversity as I go before the Lord. And you guys, there was a time where I was very angry at the Lord, very, very angry. And I'm so grateful that I got to just get away this weekend and be exclusively with him, because I could take that time and just listen to what he was saying to me versus having all of that noise. So when adversity hits me, you guys, I go and I spend time with the Lord. I look and see what is true. I also look to see what can I control. And I also make sure that you guys, that during adversity, it is like a bathtub, like literally any personal growth, anything that you have, it is literally just sucked down the drain. So making sure that I'm refilling myself up with great things, whether it's being around great people, whether it's great books, whether it's listening to good things, those are the types of things I'm surrounding myself during adversity, and trying to never, ever, ever forget the calling that is upon each and every single one of our lives in adversity, because there's nothing the enemy loves more than to distract us from what the Lord has from us, who he says that we are, and also what our calling is. Because if the enemy can get us confused, then he feels like he's winning. So just standing in that boldness and that memory of, this is who I am, this is the God that I serve, this is what he says about me as his child, and this is the calling that he has upon my life. Number 5, what key points to follow up with virtual appointments? I'm going to be brief on this one, you guys. Do it. Make sure that you do it. That's the biggest thing, is following up with, if I have a virtual hostess the next day or even after her party, I'm following up with her. Oh my gosh, girl, that was so much fun. Thank you so much. Tell me what you love the most. Tell me a little bit about what we did. If you're doing a masking party, what did you love about the product? Tell me about your friends, like what you thought about what they thought, or what feedback are you receiving from them? And then of course, going through whether it's virtual her hostess credit, asking her questions to see if she might be a great candidate to joining my team, rebooking appointments. You guys, I've been doing a lot of hostess credit lately for more appointments, because I want more appointments, and that's a very big focus of mine, is I always give a little extra to have more appointments. And then I always follow up virtually with each person that has been invited and commented on my virtual appointments. Okay, so I'm going to keep that one brief. Number 6, magnet for miracles. Jan asked that question, is how do you become a magnet for miracles every single day? And it's belief. It's belief. I had shared this with my church the other day, as we live in a society where I feel like our prayers like, oh God, everything is so awful. Everything is this and this and this. And we come before the Lord with all this yuck. But do we ever come before the Lord and be like, God, I'm so excited about this day. I cannot wait to see the signs and wonders that you give me today. 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 Do we ever go before the Lord like that? So the magnet for miracles is you have the expectation that God is going to do them, and you prepare yourself, because you guys, when miracles are coming, we have to prepare that they're coming. So preparing and getting ready and getting excited and having an expectation that miracles are coming, and they are for others too. Number 7, last one, you guys, is how do I wrap up a huge June goal? For all of you that are just like, we got 10 days, what are we doing here? What are we doing here for the last 10 days? You guys, I want to encourage you. Our unit has so much. All Stars, we have so much to do right now. Oh my gosh, I'm kind of blown away by it. But I feel in my heart, and I feel in everything that we have right now, that we are to move forward. And you guys know what? If I felt the Lord say, nope, we need to wait, we need to stop, this is crazy, don't do this. But I don't feel that way. So if that is you, I'm talking to somebody right now who's like, I know that the Lord wants me to do this. I know with everything that I have, I'm supposed to finish this on June 30th. I want to encourage you to run, call every customer, every one of your team members, get people enrolled, let them know that you are racing to the finish and you want them to be a part of it. And you are so grateful and so thankful for the part that they already played. And here are some other ways that they could play a part in finishing that goal. You guys, we have 10 days left. 10. That's it. 10 days until the end of the year. Every single one of us that's watching this video has had some type of crazy adversity. Maybe not as crazy as mine. I pray to God not as crazy as mine. But I want you to know things are going to happen in the next 10 days if you are expectant and you believe, and that you are obedient to whatever God has gifted you to do by June 30th. We, as your sales directors, believe in you. I believe in you. And I am grateful that you decided to stay with us. I know I'm running a little bit long, but I'm so excited that you decided to stay with us. And I want you to know, and I'm going to actually pray over every single person before we leave here, and then we're going to be finished. God, I thank you for the opportunity to just come before you and just sit here as your daughters, and as we just sit at your feet and just honor you and worship you. And thank you for the opportunity, Mary Kay. I thank you for the opportunity that we get to have to serve women every single day, to add fun, to add miracles, to add life, to add miracles. I think I'm just getting mixed up in my words right now, Lord, but I know that you know. And I just want to say thank you for every single one of these women that are watching. God, I pray that you give them peace. I pray that you give them joy. I pray, God, that you mend areas of their lives that they never thought were mendable. And I thank you in advance for what you are going to do as you pour out miracles for every single one of us running for this June 30th goal. And not because we want a prize, not because we want a trophy, Lord, because it's an obedience to you. God, we thank you for your love. We thank you that we get to be called your daughters. And we thank you again for the opportunity to be miracle magnets and also light givers to this dark world. We give you honor and praise in Jesus' name. Amen. You guys have an awesome finish. Thanks for letting me join you. Have a great rest of your day.